team, you guys are killing with that particular tactic. Is there anything that you're seeing in particular about teams that are doing that?
Which tactic?
Teams playing a high line on you or pressing. I guess they're different things, but in this particular case, they were playing a high line.
Yeah, but on one of the goals, I think we were almost stuck. They put pressure on Yaimar. Seemed like that was one of their tactics, allowing Yaimar to have some time on the ball. We were deep in the right-hand side, and we got out. I think that was on Jordan's goal. I can't remember Jeremiah. I'll have to watch the film. But, look, teams play how they want to play. I mean, Guillermo does a good job. He's got a good roster. Tonight maybe wasn't their night. But, if teams decide to do that, that's their business. It certainly helps us. Whatever their tactics are, I'm not going to say. I just think that our team played well tonight. I mean, whether a team would have dropped off, whether a team would have pressed, whether a team would have had a high line, I could sense the mood in the locker room before the game. And this is again one of the strengths of this team. We didn't have a good performance last go. I mean, we were disappointed, and those guys know how to come back and put on a good performance. I think they could have beaten anybody tonight, my opinion.
Chris Francis.
Coach, can you talk about the chemistry of your team and how that's developing after all these stops and starts? You had a couple of different guys in there today, and they still seem to be full steam ahead, aggressive in the way you want them to play.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that was, okay, Jovan and Nuhu were fighting for the left back spot. I mean, that was pretty much Will Bruin, I guess you're talking about Will. Will did a tremendous job for Raul. He was lights out for me. He did a lot of little things that, he didn't get on the score sheet. But, I mean, Will had a monster performance. But Will's been here. I mean, to your cohesion question, Will has been around the guys long enough to know, Nico knows where Will's good at. Gustav and Will are buddies. They drive to practice every day. I mean, they get it. They understand each other. I just think the guys enjoy playing soccer together. That's what I sense. There's days when you as a coach got to drive them hard, you got to work them hard, you got to work on tactics. And there's other days where you just kind of lighten the mood, let them go a little bit. I think we're on that end of the spectrum after that tough loss in Portland. We didn't really chew on them, do too much. We watched some film because this was our first game against the Galaxy, a new opponent. So Gonzo, Jimmy, Jorge, all those guys, they did a good job setting up film sessions for the guys, so we knew our opponent. But as far as our team is concerned, I think it's a cohesive group because they like playing soccer together.
And did Brad fit in pretty well? Obviously, he knows what he's doing.
He didn't miss a beat. I mean, the guys were ribbing him that first time he came into the game and he tried to shoot from 40 yards. I mean, all the guys, Gustav, Steph, those guys were all, giving him a little bit of grief. But, yeah, it was great to have him back on the field.
Mickey Turner.
Thanks, Coach. One of the things that you said was most disappointing about the Portland result was not taking advantage of the opportunities given the results around the league. Things seem to have dropped your way for this match as well. So just wanted to get your thoughts on that, besides Portland.
Well, Portland won. They're, same amount of points as us, whatever. So the West is going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a dogfight all the way through. Yeah, you could say, okay, San Jose winning in the last second against LAFC. Don't count LAFC out. San Jose, they've been bashed in the press. Don't count them out because Mateus, actually makes his players believe what they're doing. A win like that might, get them back up on it. I mean, LA won 4 in a row, or they unbeaten in 5 or something like that. Now they've dropped a few. It's a very streaky league as well. So you can't count anybody out in the Western Conference, in my opinion.
Jada Evans.
Thanks, Coach. Wanted to ask about, you guys had conceded a late goal. Do you consider that to be an issue with you guys this season?
Nope, not an issue, Jada. That was a good goal. Leget's a good player.
Masvita.
Hey, Coach, I know you talked a little bit about this, but how comforting is it to have a team that you don't have to prod too much after a loss, and they just come out and they looked, for me, there was movement there, the finishing was clinical, and just a team that seems to like to play the game, and you don't have to push them.
Well, listen, Maz, there's plenty of games where I have to chew on them a little bit, so don't think it's all roses and, champagne and all that every loss. Going back to Jada's point, just earlier question, look, after the game, Jada, I didn't say much about it. I'll get to your question, Maz, here in a second. I didn't say anything about it because I thought it was a well-taken goal. And sometimes if you give up a soft goal, what I call a soft goal, then I might get a little upset. But I thought that was a well-taken goal by the Galaxy. Now, Maz, to your point, it was a tough loss. I made the decision not to really chew on them, just light or weak, whatever. We did individually, when we do our film work and everything, we did pick out a few things for certain guys because it's pro sports and they have to learn from their mistakes. So the goal we took against Portland, I considered a soft goal. We could have done better there. And so that's what we focused on, not as a group. We didn't beat them down as a group. We kind of livened the group up. But some individuals got a little, coaching session with Jimmy and the film staff.
Just wondering, was any emphasis in terms of the movement and finishing for this game from last?
No, we had Maz in 2020. It was a normal week of training for 2020. I mean, the physical recovery was most important since you can't do a lot of work on the field. Again, we had to do a lot of film work. How they responded is just credit to them, credit to the guys in the locker room. And then, to the earlier question from Jeremiah, we play against teams that sometimes are better suited for our style of play versus, Portland, who, seems to give us some fits when they drop off. So, things just came together for us tonight.
Thank you.
Looks like we probably got time for one more here. Ari, why don't you close us out once again?
Ari, make it a good one. No pressure.
Okay, I'll try.
No pressure.
So Christian gets his first 2 goals of the season tonight. What did you think of his performance, aside from the goals, just his overall performance playing in that right mid spot in this game?
That is a softball question. That is such a good question, Ari. Christian has been great. I was listening to him when I was in the room when Jordan and Christian were on. 6 years. I mean, he's been here for a long time. I mean, the kid's been great for us in a lot of seasons, a lot of different positions, always gives it his all, always works hard. I can't say enough about how he drives the team and, through leadership, through example. And, tonight he got a reward. I mean, Jordan was sprinting down the left-hand side pretty darn fast. And for Christian to actually catch up to him and get on the end of that first cross for the first goal, I mean, that's credit to Christian's determination and, his mindset. He's a tough kid and, he's got the right mentality. He's got a winning mentality.